Today I'm going to show you how to do a DIY centerpiece with a bowl from the dollar store, chicken wire, and floral tape, and of course flowers. The first thing we're going to do is cut our chicken wire to size. This chicken wire is from the Home Depot. You can get it in a large roll, so it's really great for weddings because you can do a lot of centerpieces and even archways with it. It completely gets rid of the need for foam, which is more sustainable and better for your health. Do want to be careful with this chicken wire because it is very sharp and it will scratch and cut you. So I'm just going to cut it to size so that it fits in my bowl. So that looks about right. We want this to be able to sit flush or just within the top of this so that we don't see the chicken wire sticking out. Otherwise we would have to cover it. And so again, just being very careful not to poke ourselves, which I just did. We are going to just kind of place the chicken wire in here again so it sits flush, because you don't want to spend all kinds of extra time and product trying to cover up the mechanics. Waterproof tape. I'm going to create a grid. So having this chicken wire and the grid provides like two separate grids for your stems. One for the lower part of the stems and one for the higher part of the stems, allowing the stems to sit where you put them rather than kind of flip-flop around. You don't want to do this just with a tape grid. You really do want the chicken wire base in there and vice versa. If you don't use tape, the chicken wire won't stay where it is and it will move around on you, which is no fun. So I'm gonna make sure it's stuck pretty good there. I haven't put any water in here yet either, so we're gonna keep that in mind. I'm gonna try not to put as much, not to put the tape too far down here, because that's just more mechanics again that I have to cover up. So the less visible we make this, the less we have to cover up. The tighter you make your grid, the easier it is to get your stems to stay exactly where you put them. You can tell that I'm going to end up putting an extra piece of tape on both sides here, just to make that grid smaller, and again, keep the stems more where I want them. Otherwise, what would happen is I would put a stem in here and it would fall flat because there'd be nothing there to hold it upwards. Also making sure we have enough space to be able to stick a stem. So some of these are a little bit small, but I think that's okay. Again, it's less for us to have to worry about in the long run. And there we go. So now I'm gonna go fill this up with water. Designing centerpieces, I love to work with a Lazy Susan. And so this is just full, just under the brim now. Why I love to use the Lazy Susan is because I can see the centerpiece on all sides really easily. When we're working with centerpieces that go in the middle of the table, we want to make sure that it looks good on all sides because it's going to go in the middle of a table where there's people sitting on all sides. The first thing that we do with centerpieces is we green it out. That is the process of taking our foliage and creating our base and our shape. So as we place our pieces of foliage in to our arrangement, we will be creating the shape. So this is the very first time of how we're gonna get a look of where everything goes to kind of create that lineage. Also being mindful that people will be sitting at eye level, so we want to be able to see and make sure that the tape is covered. So having some pieces that come over the edge and really creating that dimension is going to be really important in your centerpiece design. Coverage and shape. But I want to make sure we're creating some height in the middle here. And so you can see how this stays where it's put because of that grid and the chicken wire. I'm going to finish greening up and then I'll meet you back here. What I've gone for is round but not perfectly symmetrical, kind of wild and a little bit organic. Now I'm going to add in my second type of foliage just for texture and more shape. Because I don't need these long pieces of ruscus, I'm actually going to give them a little snip right here where the leaves meet, so that way I can actually get two pieces out of this one piece of ruscus. As I'm placing these second pieces of foliage, I'm really just looking for some holes, gaps, and anywhere I can fill in to create more of the filler, but also some shape. Again, this is why I love to work with the Lazy Susans, because it makes it so easy for seeing all the way around and it's really easy to see where the holes are when you work this way. The rule of thumb I like to follow is if it looks complete as just an arrangement of greenery, then it's good to start adding flowers. In this video, I'm going to show you what it looks like to just use roses so you can see an affordable way to create a centerpiece that's super beautiful, looks like top-notch, and is simply just greenery and roses. And then in another video, I'll show you how we can add in additional flowers to really take it to the next level. First thing I always like to do in any arrangement or bouquet is kind of create a center. So I'm just gonna stick this flower here to be my guide. From there, I will start to create the shape. Keeping in mind that people are going to see this from every angle, be sure to use different heights for your roses so that you're creating depth. If everything was at the same height, it would look really silly. This is how it looks with roses and greenery. And in the next video, I'll show you how we can add in some extra height and dancing flowers to make it look next level. To see that video, make sure you subscribe to be notified and like this video if you enjoyed it.